Hello, and welcome to the show where it's wrestling with entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and dropping some bonus content on Mondays. I'm, of course, your host, James J., alongside Kaliko Yachts.
And I hope you got your tinfoil hat on and you're not next to the microwave because this is going to be one crazy show.
That it is, because we are wrestling with our tier list of conspiracy theories. So these are, I have scoured the internet for some of the weirdest, oddest, bizarrest, maybe actually true conspiracy theories involving pro wrestling and the WWE. And instead of doing like a top 10 list, because, that's kind of, I don't even know how we would necessarily do that, we decided to make our first ever tier list. So, the conspiracies that we'll be talking about today, we will rank them from it definitely happened, it might have happened, I don't know, it probably didn't happen, to it definitely didn't happen. Those are our five list tiers that we could place things into. So yeah, are you ready, Kaliko?
I mean, I got the tinfoil hat on. Let me move away from the refrigerator, the microwave, just in case, God strike me down or some shit.
There you go.
I don't want no static. I don't want no static.
All right. This one I actually find fun, and that is Cody Rhodes is actually Dustin Rhodes' son. So the conspiracy theory is that Dustin would have been around 17, 18. Would obviously, get into some fun trouble, father Cody, and then, Dusty would be the one to step up, take Cody as his son, and then, Dustin would be, brother Dustin.
Huh. I have a better chance of believing that Cody Rhodes is black than to believe Dustin fathered Cody.
I mean, why is that?
You say what?
And why is that?
Because, I mean, if you've noticed Cody's promos the last 5 years since he's been back in WWE, everything is for his dad, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Well, I mean, he could be working us, and that would be a fantastic work if he knew that Dustin was his son, but was his father. But it would be under the assumption that Cody didn't know.
Oh wow, some Luke Skywalker shit.
Basically.
Cody, I am your father. Well, that would have been something to have been told in AEW because did they have a match against each?
Right. But
That would have been the ultimate time to pull that shit out of his ass.
well, I mean,
No, I'm actually your father. Bam! 1, 2, 3.
yeah, that would definitely have been something. I mean, I feel like it's possible. Context, is king here. The things that, are the reserved part of it is, you know, wouldn't his, what happened to his biological mother? Would she have, stepped forward as of now? What happened to her? What happened between her and Dustin? Questions like that makes it, slightly more, disprovable. You know what I mean?
How the fuck did Dustin get custody? I'm just that numero uno for me.
Because the American Dream, baby. He knows how to pull the strings.
Oh, he pulling strings in family court now? Shit, I'm neat. Let me holler at him real quick.
So, where are we landing on it? Um, I'm I'm on the consensus that it might have happened. What say you?
So, Green, it definitely did not happen.
So you're completely no, it didn't happen.
I told you I got a better chance of believing Cody Rhodes is in the Black Panthers than he is, based on his marital status, let alone the Dustin father.
How about we how about we compromise and say it probably didn't happen?
There you go. I'll meet you halfway.
Okay, it probably didn't happen. Okay, so the
They
next
had so many chances to pull that. They were tag champions too. You just showed the picture. I'm like, that would have been a nice way to break the tag team up. I mean,
I'm your
been
father and
interesting.
I don't want to be your tag team partner anymore.
Yeah, I'm your father, and I don't want to be your tag team partner anymore.
Alright, um, the next conspiracy theory is that Daniel Bryan um, wasn't actually injured um, when he was forced to retire. Well, technically he was injured, but he wasn't as injured that he had to be forced to retire. So he was actually medically cleared long before he WWE allowed him to wrestle. They just didn't want him. The conspiracy is he was obviously one of the biggest superstars that they had, but Vince McMahon didn't want him to be bigger than Roman Reigns because he was going for Roman Reigns. So in order to stop his momentum, he medically disqualified him so Roman Reigns could be number one and Daniel Bryan would be out. That's the conspiracy.
Oh man. Um, this one is because I don't think he was. I think he was injured, and I think he was hurt, and I
Yes,
think he was willing to wrestle. I think WWE wasn't going to take the risk of him wrestling
agreed.
if if the probability, because it was a head thing. It was like head injuries with neck, so they were kind of like on the fence with it.
Right.
So I think that was more. So and then plus, I mean, they didn't plan a pandemic happening. He came back. I mean,
No, he
came
came
back
before that.
main event of WrestleMania.
He came back 2018, 2019.
Mm. Yeah, but Roman wasn't the guy then.
I mean, we were on the cusp of Roman being the guy.
You had a better. I mean, 2021, you can make that argument. But
No, no, no. Going into 36, when he was supposed to wrestle, Goldberg, I mean, that was like their last ditch effort to make
oh, he
Roman
was
the guy.
champion, Kofi Mania, motherfucker. I'm tripping. And then he took some time off, came back. Nah, because only reason don't believe that because if that were the case, Roman would have been the main event at 35, and he wasn't. He was against Drew McIntyre.
But that's a whole other conversation and a whole other conspiracy.
I mean, he was getting dog food put on his face from Baron Corbin, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
So therefore, he could, nah.
I think that it's more. It probably didn't happen, right?
Yeah, it probably didn't happen.
All right. That brings us to a more grim um a conspiracy theory, and that is Lex Luger is solely responsible for the passing of Miss Elizabeth. Not that he did, anything malicious towards her, but he was the one that provided, they were together, they were doing, extracurricular activities together. She did OD. Um, so the conspiracy theory is that, Lex was responsible and the one that, I mean, he didn't, actually do it, but, he was responsible for her death.
He didn't do it, but he gave her access. Kind of like how Bobby Brown is not responsible for Whitney Houston's death, but he's the reason she kind of got where she was, if that makes sense.
Right.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah, that happened.
It
But
definitely
then
happened.
he admitted it, though. He was a guy, I mean, he had to fight that one in the face. I mean, say what he will, he paid the piper.
That he did. So we're agreed it definitely happened.
Yes.
All right. That brings us to let's start with our first, in-ring conspiracy, and that is Brock Lesnar shot on the Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. So the conspiracy theory, and the funny part about this is the conspiracy was made by Paul Heyman himself, that Brock didn't really wanna. He called an audible in the ring and said, losing to the Undertaker, that don't work for me, brother. Obviously he's a UFC world champion. You don't fuck with one of those. And he literally shot on the Undertaker and won the and broke the streak without, permission or consent.
I mean, being there, considering Taker was concussed, is all get out. uh, that might have happened. I think that is definitely something that might have happened because it almost seemed like no one knew how to plan for the blowback of that.
Um, I'm more on the consensus that it didn't happen, or it probably didn't happen, for the fact that I don't remember hearing Brock Lesnar not put ever complaining about putting somebody over or not wanting to put somebody over, and him and Taker had a good rapport with each other. I mean, they respected each other, and I don't think Brock has a lot of respect for a lot of people in pro wrestling. So I mean, that's a big thing for him. So if Undertaker, actually was concussed and he was supposed to win the match, I feel like Brock would have led him there because, he is a professional. I, I don't
Rock and professional, same sentence.
I mean, the only time we've ever even heard of Brock Lesnar shooting on somebody was Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle was shooting on him. So I mean, it was contained into what was happening. I don't remember again. I don't remember Brock ever being um in the ring difficult or something like that.
You have a point there. Although, I mean, Heyman made it. I can see it happening, though. I can see it happening. I, it's one of those things where it's like, if that were the case, nobody would tell it.
Right.
Because, I mean, Taker was adamant about. I mean, if there's one thing Taker was adamant about, is like he would tell people who they wanted the streak to end, and it was up to them to decide whether they did it or not. Because Edge had the story that he was supposed to end the streak, and he declined. And then, I mean, I don't know, Punk sounded like he would have took it, but I mean,
I don't think he would have gave it to him at that time and place and time. He didn't necessarily like Punk.
probably not.
So, where do you land on this one?
I'm landing on. I don't know. It's between I don't know and it probably didn't happen.
I'm on it probably didn't happen. So, it probably didn't happen. Alright, let's go with an easier one now. And that is that Dave Meltzer actually does work for AEW and is paid by Tony Khan.
Hell yeah, put that at the top. It happened.
Didn't even have to think about it. Thinking, thinking, thinking. Don't need to think, it definitely happened. Right, let's go let's go with one of the darker ones just to kind of get it out of the way because it is pretty bleak, to say the least. And that is Benoit was framed. For context here, Kevin Sullivan was dating the woman. Um, there was a rivalry between Benoit and Kevin Sullivan where the woman would come over to Benoit. That would actually translate to real life where Nancy Benoit would marry Chris Benoit, leaving Kevin Sullivan. Um, for anybody that doesn't know the Benoit tragedy, he killed his child and his wife, and then deleted himself as well. Um, the conspiracy is
You
that
might want to reframe that word, that K. You might want to reframe that K word too. Deleted.
yeah,
The
deleted.
the, the framing is that he deleted his family and himself.
Yes, he deleted his household. Um, the conspiracy theory is that he didn't actually delete everybody, but Kevin Sullivan, in an act of revenge, came in, um, did that deed, and make it and framed Benoit to make him look like a monster, to destroy his reputation and his career, getting revenge in some type of satanic ritual. Obviously, Kevin Sullivan was, you know, did a gimmick like that. So people were under the assumption that that was a part of things as well. Yeah, an odd, interesting, and pretty bleak conspiracy theory, no?
pretty bleak indeed. Um, the person that we were talking about last uh, conspiracy theory, Paul Heyman don't really believe that. So
I don't know if you've even heard of that. You know,
he ain't buying none of that shit.
Paul Heyman makes his own conspiracy theories. He doesn't need to buy into other people's conspiracy theories.
That is indeed correct. You're correct on that part. Yeah, I mean this was covered in the Dark Side of the Ring. Um, and it's one of those things where like it's super sensitive to whether because especially with the son still being alive, I I really don't know. It could be, but it's either I don't know or it didn't happen.
You know, Benoit at one point was my favorite wrestler, and as much as I'd like to believe that he was innocent, watching that Dark Side of the Ring myself, this definitely this definitely didn't happen. I,
Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense for Kevin Sullivan to.
I mean, years later, like, I mean, we're not talking about, like, like a couple years later. Like, this was decades later. And, I feel like police reports would have, police would have known if there was any foul play, involved.
Oh yeah,
So, it definitely didn't happen. But, do you feel
definitely.
it didn't happen or it definitely didn't happen?
For the sake of sanity, it definitely didn't happen.
Agreed. Okay. Um, let's go on maybe a lighter note, and that is that Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon had sexual interactions. I mean, you know, it's no secret that Vince and Shawn were close in the late '90s, or um, he was his top guy. Shawn was known as a sexy boy. He would be in Playgirl. Um, so yeah, that is the conspiracy that Vince McMahon and Shawn Michaels had romantic relations, and let's just leave it at that.
Hell no, ain't no way. I mean, if you see Vince's affidavits on how he get down, allegedly, by the way, but that ain't happening.
I mean,
He had a better chance of joining in with Sonny than having a one-on-one with Sean.
you say that, and I mean, Vince is the thing that I would say about Vince McMahon is with Vince, nothing is for sure with Vince McMahon. So Sean was not in his right mind back then. Obviously he's in a better place now. I it wouldn't surprise me if Vince came to his hotel room with his Odd Man Johnson dildo and having just a Chipotle and try to see if he can score with the sexy boy.
No, Vince has done a lot of he's done a lot of screwing with women, and the last person I mean, admittedly, I would think that would be something that Linda would hear because he told her if he was having sex with other women. So I mean,
Well, I mean, he said with other women. He didn't say with another man.
I think he would include that though. I don't think he would be the person to be that technical.
I
Like,
mean,
but you didn't say men.
I would definitely
Like,
think that he would exclude something like that.
I mean, I guess I'm in the minority then, because I don't see that happen.
So you're definitely it didn't happen.
Oh yeah, it didn't happen.
I'm in. I would have might have said it might have happened, but since we're so far apart, um, it probably didn't happen.
There's no way. But anywho,
Let's let's put this over here. All right. Um, let's go with let's go with this one. There were two Ultimate Warriors. Everybody knows that the Ultimate Warrior, obviously one of the bigger, superstars in WWE. He got abruptly fired after Royal Rumble 92? No. Um, I'm messing. I'm forgetting what Royal Rumble. But the Royal Rumble before WrestleMania 7. Um,
which was 91.
91. Thank you. Um, Ultimate Warrior would eventually come back to the company, and he would wear this singlet that was airbrushed like his body. He was talking maybe different than he normally did. And people have speculated for many years. And, keep in mind that this is at a time where, the internet is not necessarily a thing, that
Mm.
the original Ultimate Warrior had died. And because there was bad blood, they could use the IP of the Ultimate Warrior with somebody new to take his place and be the new Ultimate Warrior, but still say that it's Jim Hedwig
Elwig.
Elwig. There you go. And that is the conspiracy that there is two Ultimate Warriors.
No. I mean, steroids is one hell of a drug, but no. I don't. That definitely didn't happen. Because if that were the case, you wouldn't think Vince did a fake razor. You wouldn't think he did a fake warrior.
I mean, very different context, but I see your
I
point.
mean, that's a. I mean, bro, he would. No, he would have used it to make some money. Come on, bro.
I mean, I feel like there would have been some evidence of this at some point at some time, but there really hasn't. It's all been speculation. Then, and it begs the question: Who died in 2014 when he got inducted into the Hall of Fame? Was it the real one? Was it the fake one? Was the
Fake one, you know.
did the Ultimate Warrior exist at all? Who knows? We don't know.
I mean, that just sounds like that sounds goes in theory with like the Tupac gimmick. Everybody think Tupac alive in Puerto Rico somewhere drinking mai tais, and I'm like, bro, hell no,
I mean,
hell no.
he might. You don't know.
Ain't no goddamn way.
We're in we're in agreement that this definitely didn't happen, right?
Oh no, it did happen. I lived through it. You would think you think I would have I mean, that's why I said it would have been a fake warrior. Back then, I mean, you didn't have the internet, but you still had magazines and magazines.
The next one is that Triple H lied, manipulated, and convinced Stephanie McMahon into marrying him so he could eventually take over the company.
Ooh, lied and manipulated. That is an interesting word. because he did get with her after China. So it's vague as hell. And China, the rest of her soul, did say Triple H cheated on her with Stephanie.
True, but I mean, if we're getting, I mean, basically, this is did Triple H marry Stephanie McMahon for the money? Which yes, he did. You know,
For the money, I mean, I think for this, uh, I'll put it this way: his status as a wrestler would not have been the same without Stephanie.
agreed. So money, power, influence. Uh,
Money, power, respect, but you need life.
right. And I mean,
But
what guy?
manipulated her though? I mean, he got to propose. She can say yes or no.
I mean, yes, but I mean, if we're just getting into like normal, dating culture, guys do lie and manipulate women to get what they want out of her. Usually it's what's in their pants. For Stephanie, it's what was in her pockets, which was money. So I could absolutely believe that maybe he didn't necessarily like her, personally. Maybe didn't find her attractive. Maybe didn't even like her personality, but still got with her because she was the boss's daughter, and that had influence.
So you think he had a 30-year vision to eventually take over the company? uh, if that were the case, then the moment Vince sold, he would have divorced.
I mean, no offense, but I don't know if you saw that picture of Triple H right now. But I mean, he's not looking the best that he is. I mean, and he's three
I
daughters
mean,
deep,
he can't really work out that hard. That motherfucker got a he got a pacemaker, bro. He can't. He,
and he's
dude, buddy.
and he's three
My
daughters.
mom, my grandma had a pacemaker. You ain't doing a lot of shit that you used to do.
And I mean, he's three daughters deep already. So I mean, maybe over time he grew to be fond of her or like her.
Like, man, love is a choice, but man, I don't. It didn't happen. I mean, manipulated. If you count China's account of cheating allegedly, I can see that angle of it. But other than that, it's hard.
So I think this is the furthest apart that we've been because you're it definitely didn't happen, and I'm it's definitely it definitely did happen.
Well, it's more or less. I, I I wouldn't say he manipulated her to marry him. I can believe the story. It's plausible to believe the story that he cheated on China with Stephanie.
Well, I mean, we know for sure that he
Which is
cheated.
which in that term in which you call lie and manipulate would then be true.
Well, I mean, it's not.
See, legalese. I'm over here legalese in this bitch.
I mean, it's not a secret that he cheated on China with Stephanie. That definitely
Then
happened.
that would be then that would be that part would be true.
So where do you land on this one?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I mean, it could be both because I don't think he got with Stephanie for the money, but I think he lied and cheating on her. So that part, see, that's what I'm saying. I think he did lie and manipulate. It's not for the money, just because he probably didn't want to be with China no more.
So where are you landing on this? It happened. It might have happened. You don't know. Probably didn't.
For the, I mean, your version, no. For the money, no. I mean, I think, I mean, it happened. It happened. He cheated on her, so he cheated on China to get with her. So that part is true. which if you count that as lying, then yeah, that's true.
So it definitely happened?
Yeah, he cheated on her. That's a given.
Okay.
I mean, that's what China says. So, I mean, I can only go off one part. Triple H ain't going. He ain't out there vaguely denying it. It ain't like he going, I never cheated. You know.
No. Yeah.
I think I remember one time he had a little thing where he was like, I fucked up or I moved up or something like that. Which kind of, oh man, I gotta find that quote.
He was vague.
Um, it was vague, but come on, bro. Dang it, what was it called? Oh man, I can't even. I'm gonna look it up and then watch it pops up when we get to the next one.
Well, let's talk about another. Well, I mean, let's keep on the Triple H conspiracy theories, and that is that Triple H in theory didn't think Kurt Angle was going to be a big star for WWE and wanted to hold him down because he didn't think that he was big enough to you know to be a pro wrestler.
So Triple H held Kurt Angle down.
Yes, that is the conspiracy theory.
Well, if it's even if it's true, that shit didn't work.
From from rumor and innuendo, he brought it up to Vince, and not Jerry Jarrett, Gerald Briscoe was in the room, and he said, "Well, why don't you get in the ring with him and find out yourself?" Which he did, and then Kurt obviously swept swept the ring with him because he's caught freaking Angle.
Won a medal for the broken freaking neck. I mean, if Briscoe has Briscoe returned that story.
That I don't know. I did not hear. I didn't hear that he denied or confirmed that. Um,
Because I remember the Bruce Pritchard episode in which he was working with Shane. Because he was always like training with Shane when he first got in there. Or no, not Shane, but Bruce Pritchard's brother, rather.
Dr. Tom.
Uh, Dr. Tom. So I wouldn't think that would be the case. I don't think that happened. Because Dr. Tom ain't gonna tell. I don't think that would be the person that'd be the end all be all for him to even get a crack at it.
Well, I know. Well, politics. Court was on his way up, and Triple H was just kind of on the cusp of breaking out into a major star role when Court came in. So, I could definitely see him, wanting to protect that. He's kind of politicking a bit, starting the canoodle with Stephanie, maybe feeling a little bit bigger for his britches than he is. Um, if he actually did anything to, hold um, Kurt Angle down, that's yet to be seen. There's no evidence of it. But and I could definitely see him making a comment like, I don't think that he's maybe our guy to go with. You know what I mean?
Right. But I get that, and yet Kurt was a fish in water when he got in.
Yes.
So it wouldn't have made sense to try to. I mean, it was bound to happen when he got in the ring.
Where do you land on this one?
Definitely didn't happen. Bottom tier.
I would go more with I don't know. Simply because could I see Triple H making a comment? Yes. Could I? It clearly and obviously didn't work. You know what I mean?
Clearly.
So go with it probably didn't happen.
Probably didn't happen.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's go to a darker one, and that is the Von Erich curse. As everybody knows, the Von Erich brothers, tragically died in, tragic ways that we're not going to get into it. But the conspiracy theory is Fritz von Erich, when he started his wrestling career, he played a Nazi. Um, uh, don't ask me how, but the ghost of a Holocaust survivor felt offended by this portrayal of a Nazi and cursed Fitz with the fate of herself, which was that her 5 out of her 6 sons perished in the Holocaust. And she cursed him with the same fate. That is,
What the fuck?
yeah, I told you last week that I went really deep into that rabbit hole. And this is the shit that I came out with.
The fuck was that? Bro, I didn't even hear that one. I
Out of general curiosity, do you believe in like curses and ghosts and things like that?
ghost? Man, ghost is a strong word. I. That's a good question. I never really answered that. My mom gonna beat my ass if I answer this wrong. Uh, but I mean, I believe in a higher being. Do I think that motherfuckers can run around and put curses on people and they become ghosts? Hard sell for me, brother. But it's that one is out there.
Could could we agree that the way we could both agree that the Von Erichs, their legacy is tragic. No,
That is the good God truth.
the second thing is some of the if you really look into some of their deaths, there's a lot of improbability of how the fuck did that happen as
I
well.
mean the same with the Kennedys. They're the Kennedys of wrestling. Just the weirdest ways they went out.
One of them got struck by lightning.
I, yeah.
You don't like if it just ended with that one, and it was just that one odd occurrence. I would say okay, sure, it was just an occurrence. But you're the one that always says once it's an occurrence, twice it's a pattern.
Yeah, they just got a pattern of shitty luck.
I
I mean,
I don't know
I don't
if
think I don't think someone putting a death on people, putting a hex on people, would be working because God knows how many people are trying to put a hex on this current president, and it ain't working. So that's the only reason I'm like,
well everybody knows
ah.
well everybody knows those 70 courses were a lot stronger than them 2025 courses.
Oh my God, them 19. Oh, the before what Miss Cleo, pre Miss Cleo, post Miss Cleo. Is that what it?
They don't make them courses the way that they used to.
Well, they better get some better bass in that curse. I mean, shit, they better do better. Do better.
on the consensus. I'm in the consensus that I don't know. It might have happened, but I'm firmly on I don't know.
You're firmly on I don't know. I'm firmly on what the fuck. And we'll land on it probably didn't happen. We'll agree to disagree on that notion.
All right. Our next conspiracy theory is that Tony Khan does cocaine. I mean, it's no secret that Tony Khan is hyper. His eyes are, always kind of wide. Um, which made speculations that he does cocaine. So, yeah.
Uh, it, it, it might have happened. I mean, shit happens when you're on a yacht.
And
A
I mean,
gold-plated yacht at that.
he's a billionaire. I mean, they do those things
LeBron don't do
that you know of.
that I know of. Yeah, you're right. Nah, because if somebody saw him doing coke in this age of social media, you don't think they'd be yoking his shit?
Nobody said that they saw him doing cocaine, but we could both agree that he kind of looks like he does cocaine.
You just look like the awkward kid in school that finally got a bunch of money. It always had money, and now he can do what the hell he wants.
I'm saying that he probably does it.
I'd say it probably happened one time at band camp, and he just got stuck like that.
So so are we on the consensus? It might have happened.
It's definitely on that upper tier.
So it definitely happened, or it might have happened.
I think it might have happened.
All right, I could agree with that. All right. The next one of our conspiracy theories is that the Montreal screw job was a work. Um, Obviously, Brett went to WCW. That's no secret. But for context, Vince McMahon couldn't pay Bret Hart his contract. They had to negotiate a new contract. Didn't work out. He went to WCW. Bret was the WWE champion at the time. He wanted him to drop the belt to Shawn Michaels in Montreal. Um, Bret and Shawn had a very strained relationship at the time. Didn't want to drop the belt to Shawn, um, which caused Vince McMahon to call an audible that Shawn Michaels would put Bret Hart in the sharpshooter. The referee would call for the bell. They would screw Bret Hart, creating one of the greatest villains of all time, Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon, and Bret would then go to WCW. I know a lot of people might say, you know, it didn't happen, but I feel like if this was just between Vince McMahon and Bret Hart, it could have happened. It might have happened. Because I feel like Bret and Vince are two guys that are pretty tight-lipped. If there was something this worked, you know what I mean? Montreal Screwjob was a work. How do you feel?
If it was, then Vince took one hell of a shot in the back of the locker room. because the stories about him taking it and allowing Brett to give him that shot, yeah, nah.
I disagree. I disagree because um, obviously Bret Hart was doing a documentary at the time, Wrestling with Shadows. So a lot of what happened in the Montreal Screwjob was documented. They had to make things look good because you didn't want it to you don't want to make it look like, well, it might have been a work. And I do think Vince McMahon would have took one for the team for that.
Take a punch?
Yeah.
Because by all accounts, everyone that's been said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna let him get the free shot on me."
Well, I mean, I would think that the only people that would know about it being a walk were Vince and Brett, and then just literally working everybody but those two people into believing that it was you know that this was legitimate.
Mm, I guess, but nah, I still don't think it was a work. It was too much shit going down. Too much. The way it happened, it was mafia style. They did a mafia style.
So are you it did definitely didn't happen, or it probably didn't happen?
Oh, it definitely didn't happen. The way that it's been explained by everyone that dealt with it or was there, I mean, if it was a work, it's a 20-year work because Brett didn't get in until 2010. Brett and Sean didn't make up until damn near 20, 30 years later.
Um, I disagree. I think that this was.
20-year work? That's like as long as you've been alive, little man.
I mean, um, I mean, almost 30-year walk. So,
Yeah, it's 30s. Damn, I'm old. Where's my
so
AARP?
I, I think that it might have happened. I think that you know, especially considering where we're at now with the Unreal and Karrion Cross, what's going on with him. It would not surprise me if, back then that Vince McMahon and Bret Hart would have, staged all of this. Um, and just haven't talked about it since. So, I would say that it might have happened, but you're on it definitely didn't happen, right?
Oh, yeah, no. Because the way, I mean, because then that means they would have planned that. Let's say it happened in 98. They had their match at. What WrestleMania was it? Brett had his
12.
Brett had his 2012.
No. Oh,
So,
no, the match with
the
Bret Hart, no, that was 2010.
yeah, the match with yeah. So you mean what? A damn near 20, 20, 20 some odd, a 12-year work? Because that match ended with all the hearts coming in. That was like a fucking.
But I mean,
We got.
keep in mind, Bret Hart was medically disqualified when he was in WCW. So I mean, it wasn't like
Thank
he
you,
could have.
Goldberg.
I mean, it's not like he could have came back and done a match, any sooner than he did. And whatever you want to say between him and Vince McMahon, the feelings between him and Shawn Michaels were very hard. That was no secret between the issues and problems that Shawn had with Brett. So a lot of that, and obviously Vince went with Brett with Shawn, so that could have hurt him as well. So that could have definitely all of those variables definitely would have kept Bret Hart away for as long as he did. I mean, also keep in mind that there was a documentary DVD on Bret Hart shot in 2005. I mean, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame as well. So, I mean, it wasn't like it was cold chalky between Vince McMahon and Bret Hart between 97 and 2010.
I thought Brett got inducted in 2010, homie.
No, the Hart, his father got inducted in 2010.
Well, yeah, but not 2006. I don't. I still don't think it was worth. I don't see it. I don't see it because it was too. I mean, maybe because I lived through it, and it was a lot of harbored feelings. And
I,
then hearing the Bruce Pritchard, well, the Bruce Pritchard version and the Taker version, somewhat aligns.
I mean, but you're going off the notion that they because they nobody knew. I'm on the assumption that the only people that knew was Vince and Brett, and that was it. And they walked
Yeah,
everybody in the company, and they walked everybody, not just the people, but the people in the company as well.
uh, that's. I mean, but they worked it to where they had. That's a lot of work to be calling all the employees and having a meeting and then holding this bitch for 30 years. Like, I, I, I get it.
I feel like I'm talking you into this.
I don't know. Nah, you ain't. But it just for them to be holding that for like a 20-year work, it's like,
So you're it definitely didn't happen. I'm at it might have happened. Can we agree that we could put it in I don't know?
I will meet you at I don't know.
Fair enough. All right. Our next work or conspiracy theory is, let's see which one I want. Oh, CM Punk came back to WWE to destroy AEW. So obviously there's bad blood between AEW and CM Punk at this point. The only reason he came back was to show AEW who he was and destroy the company as a whole because of the bad blood between the two of them. If you know what is happening between WWE and the PLEs, counter programming, AEW paid previews, it's not out of the realm of possibilities at this point. But that could have been done if CM Punk wasn't a part of the company anyway.
Facts. So that's why I say no. He went back because he wanted the money. Get that bread, homie.
Um, I mean, there might be just a part of him that was like stick it to AEW to say, fuck yous, I'm still somebody relevant.
That can be true. Yeah,
Maybe it might have happened.
might have, but I still think yeah, I mean,
It might have happened.
yeah.
Okay. All right. The next conspiracy theory is that Lex Luger cost himself the WWE Championship. Conspiracy theory suggests that he was supposed to win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 10 instead of Bret Hart. And then the night before WrestleMania 10, he went out to a bar and was telling people that he was going to win the WWE Championship tomorrow at WrestleMania. He was going to beat Yokozuna. Vince McMahon didn't like that, getting out that he was saying that he was going to win, and then changed the finish that Bret won the title instead of Lex.
While it is true, well, based on the recollection of one Bruce Pritchard, I mean, I listen to a lot of Thunder Wrestling with, in
Yes.
case you ever noticed. But they did do the taping because they were kind of flipped on between Brett and Luger winning the title, and they did a taping with Luger with the belt, which is what got everybody flipped out because they showed that taping um, of him with the title, and the crowd reaction wasn't really that grandiose as it was with Brett, and I think that's what the fact that the people really wanted Brett, because keep in mind Brett got shitted on at WrestleMania 9,
Right.
uh, literally. So I could see Luger costing himself. I also see that the people really wanted Brett in '94.
So this is where I fall on it. Did Luger cost himself the WWE Championship? 100%. Was it the night before WrestleMania? 100% no. He
Oh
cost
no,
him.
it wasn't the night before WrestleMania because they were they weren't they. I think they made that decision long before.
Right. From what I've gathered, also listening to Bruce Prichard as well, is that the final nail in his coffin was Survivor Series, whether or not they were going to go with him as champion. Um, it they shot promos for Thanksgiving and it didn't go well. So they already knew well before WrestleMania he wasn't going to win the championship. It was going to be Brett. Mainly because, Lex wasn't that comfortable in front of the crowd. He didn't really want to talk, he didn't really want to interact with the people. While Brett was very much, liked to interact with his fans, which was ultimately why they gave Brett the nod rather than Lex. So I would, because the conspiracy is it happened the night before WrestleMania at the bar where he said, I'm going to win the championship. I would say this definitely did not happen. It was already known that he wasn't going to win.
Right.
Agreed?
Agreed.
Alright, I find this one interesting. Um, ECW was actually an affiliate of WWE underneath the WWE banner, but they were allowed to kind of work on their own, like they were their own independent company, but WWE was financing and You know, um, they were financing the company, and then when WCW went under, Vince McMahon pulled the plug on ECW and said no more ECW. Um, and that's what happened. I mean, it's not a secret that WWE did give ECW money. I mean, that's not a secret.
I
Um,
mean, they gave each other business.
right.
Uh, did he fund them? No, because if that was the case, no, ECW was always getting by when it came to money.
I mean, if that was true, then a lot of the guys that didn't get paid by Paul Heyman would have been paid at some point.
Yeah, but that's my point. I'm saying, like, ECW was always strapping for cash. That's why Tommy Dreamer is like, I love him, but I hate him.
I mean, he was going to. He wanted to kill Paul Heyman at one point.
Yeah, that's my point. So, I mean, the financing them, I don't believe it because ECW is just running their own thing.
Right. I agree.
Um, you say what?
I agree.
So, I mean, yeah, so working with them, yes. Financing them, no.
So it definitely did not happen.
The financing part, hell no.
Yeah. All right. Um, our next conspiracy theory is that Gino Hernandez did not overdose. Gino Hernandez had passed. It was reported that he passed of an overdose. The conspiracy theory is that it was not an overdose, but because he was involved with the mafia, um, things kind of went wrong, and yeah, he got you know, godfathered is the best way to put it.
You know, I heard that once. I did hear of that one. I think, didn't they put that on the dark side of the ring?
I did not. If it did, I did not watch that episode.
Uh, I mean, uh, I would believe the mafia. I mean, but then again, if he was murdered, I think what 1984. That was the advent of the beginning of what's now known as DNA forensics.
I mean, if the mafia was involved, then obviously there would be a cover up.
Yeah, he went out sleeping. He went for a walk. That's
Yeah,
He went for a walk and never came back.
Tony D'Angelo's grandfather.
Oh God, Jesus. Um, I'm a rule. I don't know because I could see it happening.
Um, I would say it might have happened. It's not out of the realm of possibilities, especially for that time frame. In pro wrestling. So you're at I don't know. I'm at it might have happened. So I could go with I don't know. The next conspiracy theory is that Finn Balor did not get injured when he he did not get injured when he won the Universal Championship at SummerSlam 2016. But Vince McMahon made up the injury angle in order to disprove to Triple H that NXT guys were valid competition for the main roster people.
Nah.
It probably didn't happen, or it definitely didn't happen.
I don't think that happened.
I think it's a little bit far fetched. I don't think he would fake somebody's injury just to get a belt off of them.
I mean, they got the recording in which he told Triple H. I mean, Finn told Triple H, "I think my shoulder's jacked."
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that it is as well. All right. Um, Another Benoit conspiracy. One might say that this is maybe even darker than the last, and that is that he had a sexual relationship with Eddie Guerrero.
What?
Yes, Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero were gay. Um, some people believe this because how distraught Benoit was over Eddie's death in 2005. Benoit had a diary where he would talk to Eddie, and people believe that it was one of a lover's diary. Um, what was said in those diaries has yet to be confirmed, but yeah, people believe Eddie Guerrero and Benoit. Um,
No. Just no.
it definitely didn't happen, or it probably didn't happen.
It definitely didn't happen. What the? Yeah, you went down a rabbit hole, my
Yeah,
guy.
I agree with that. I think it definitely didn't happen. There were no signs that either guy ever had, you know, ran that way. So yeah.
Exactly.
The next conspiracy theory is Macho Man punched Hulk Hogan the night before WrestleMania 9. Um, right before WrestleMania 9, Hulk Hogan showed up with a gnarly black and blue eye. It was pretty fucked up, and for all intents and purposes, he claimed that he had a jet ski accident that fucked up his eye, and that's why he looked the way that he did. But other people claim, conspiracy theorists, that he was at the he got into an altercation with Randy Savage. I believe it had something to do with Miss Elizabeth, maybe some cheating involved, and Macho Man clocked Hulk Hogan, leaving him with that bad black eye.
Considering his friend almost fractured his skull,
And something similar,
and something similar, he
allegedly.
only came out with a black eye. Um, that is plausible.
I disagree. And this is why I disagree. If if Randy Savage actually did punch Hulk Hogan, at some point somebody, especially Randy himself, would have said that he punched Hulk Hogan before WrestleMania 9. Why would, and I mean why? I mean obviously Hulk Hogan's covering something up. That was definitely not a jet ski accident. Some shit happened. But if it was Randy that punched him, why would he cover that up? Why would he hide that? Why would he say, "Yeah, brother, me and Randy got into an argument and he punched me. I don't know what happened. Like he used to say, he used to,
Brother.
brother. And if he did indeed punched him, why wasn't it in the diss track of Hulk Hogan? You know, be a man, Hulk. Yeah, remember WrestleMania 9 when I punched you in the face? Be a man, Hulk. You was a man back then.
That is true. Savage would have rapped about it.
So where do you lie on this one?
Okay, I mean, nah, because if Savage punched him, didn't Savage work WrestleMania 9?
He was on commentary.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Yeah,
I mean, he would have got sent home. So, yeah, nah. He worked it.
definitely did not happen. Alright, next conspiracy theory is that Edge was actually medically cleared to come back to WWE long before he actually made his comeback. Um, WWE just didn't want to use him because, obviously the nature of his injury, and didn't allow him back in the ring until AEW made him an offer.
Hmm. No, because Edge decided to leave, right?
No, Edge. We're talking about when he retired at the beginning of 2011. Um, to this time
Uh,
span of 2020 when he made his return.
oh no, he didn't take that. Because for him to come back the day Kobe died is a whole. I mean,
No, it's not that he faked it. It was that didn't want to bring him back until AEW made him an offer. Then they were like, okay,
no.
we'll bring you back.
Well, no. Because if that was the case, I mean, Paige got an offer, Dave Bryan got an offer.
So it probably didn't happen, or it definitely didn't happen.
Definitely didn't happen.
Okay. That brings us to the next one, and that is that AEW and WWE work together. I don't think I don't see that there's any signs that they do work together.
No, ain't no goddamn way.
Next conspiracy theory, um, is that Roman Reigns faked cancer in 2017. Roman Reigns announced on an episode of Raw that he had leukemia, that he would be leaving WWE to get better. Obviously it was, a big emotional moment for everybody. Um, the conspiracy theory was that he didn't really have cancer, that that WWE used it as a way to a build sympathy for him, so when he came back that the people would cheer him. He was filming the Fast and the Furious movie as well, and he did something else as well. I can't remember. So they were allowing him time off to do all of those things and use the work of cancer to write him off TV.
Um, nah.
This conspiracy theory actually brings up good memories for me per se, because I don't know if you remember, but Roman Reigns' leukemia and segment was like one of the first things that we ever talked about.
Yes. And mean, that wouldn't be true because he was gone the whole pandemic,
Right.
damn near the whole pandemic.
I right. And I mean that was one of the things that we talked about when we had that very first conversation. When I actually interviewed you to come on Wrestling Entertainment.
I know, right? I was like, bro, don't get me wrong. He went to Georgia Tech, and Georgia hates Georgia Tech. But I ain't gonna.
Right. But yeah, it's improbable. I mean, to some degree, I wouldn't put it past Vince McMahon to say, "Damn it, pal! If you have cancer, they'll cure ya." But it probably didn't happen.
Yeah, because he had to relinquish the title. Then the pandemic happened. He would have worked the pandemic if that was the case.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not that he didn't have leukemia at all. It's just that he faked that span of leukemia during that announcement to WrestleMania
Man,
30.
what the hell? No, because they would have. Because if they were doing that, they would have had him in the main event, Royal Rumble winner. That was the case.
So it definitely didn't happen, or it probably didn't happen.
Because when he had leukemia, if I remember right, when he announced it, what, 2018, 2019?
2019, yeah. It was
So that
around 6
means,
months, maybe
yeah,
7 at most.
2019, WrestleMania 35, he would have been the main event.
It
Yeah,
definitely,
but that was Seth's year because Seth beat Rock.
yeah.
And Seth won the Royal Rumble. See, this is a fallacy.
It probably didn't happen, or it definitely didn't happen.
It definitely didn't happen.
Okay. So the next conspiracy theory is that The Rock put Nick Khan into WWE to ultimately overtake WWE. Um, The Rock and Nick Khan were childhood friends in Hawaii. The Rock works with his sister, so the conspiracy is that The Rock told Nick Khan go to WWE, get in good with them, and then at some point will take over the company. Um, Whether or not that's true, it did actually happen.
It happened, but I don't think because he got hired way before The Rock even popped in
I mean, it's not a matter of if The Rock when The Rock popped in. It was that The Rock could pop in at any time when he needed to.
there. No, because even with that, it would be up to the board. I mean, Khan would have to convince the whole board to pick him as the guy, right?
I mean, he kind of did. I mean, at one point that
He already did.
he was higher than Stephanie McMahon on that totem pole.
But Stephanie was laying low because I think she went to go find out what was happening with all those SAs and was like, nah, I need to, nah, I'm out.
Right.
Uh, so I could see that. I mean, the disappointment of her father. So I could see that.
I feel
But
comfortable. Yeah.
Nick Khan being a setup for The Rock, because if that were the case, if this was the case, then Vince wouldn't have been able to come back the second time.
I mean, I disagree because I mean Vince McMahon is Vince McMahon, and he's always going to be Vince McMahon.
The Nick Khan would have cock blocked the second comeback to go to TKO.
Mm, I don't know about that because I mean, obviously The Rock I mean, if we're going down the conspiracy theory hole, if Nick Khan knew all of, the allegations against, Vince McMahon, then, it would be easy to, insert, The Rock and say, well, yeah, he did all these terrible things, but here's The Rock, he's squeaky clean.
Um, I don't know. I have a hard time. I mean, it did come out of. It was weird that it came out of nowhere. The Rock, of all people, would be running WWE.
Right.
Uh, so in that vein, shit, I don't know.
I don't know either. So should we put it in I don't know?
I don't know because, yeah, I really don't know.
Okay. The Rock Nick Khan? I don't know. Alright, another. Let's do this one. Vince McMahon sent Vince Russo to WCW to kill WCW. So the conspiracy theory is that Vince McMahon sent Vince Russo to WCW to do all of those terrible, storylines, Viagra on a pole, um, Judy Bagwell on a pole, the whole reset, um, um, David, what is his name? David Arquette as the heavyweight champion. All of these insane, things that Vince Russo was responsible for was all a master plan to not help WCW but destroy WCW.
Although there were a lot of what whiskey tango foxtrot moments towards that end, I think the beginning of the end of WCW was when the NWO line became like this whole Wolfpack, white and blue LWO, compounded with the mystique of Goldberg ending,
What
compounding with the lack of Brett. Yeah, it was a lot of other factors. The storyline, Russo wasn't just the main thing.
No, 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 no. That's We're not debating on who killed WCW. We could be here all day. The conspiracy theory that we're talking about was that specifically Vince McMahon sent Vince Russo to WCW to fuck things up.
Oh no, they didn't need Vince Russo to be fucking things up.
I agree. And, if Vince Russo if Vince Russo left pro wrestling after WCW, I would probably say, you know, yeah, he was sent there to destroy WCW. But after hearing some of his misadventures in pro wrestling afterwards, and some of the stupid shit that he did in TNA, yeah, that wasn't Vince McMahon's doing. That was all Vince Russo's doing.
Yes.
So I'd feel comfortable just putting it in. It probably didn't happen, rather than
Yes.
it definitely didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's still a chance that it happened, but I don't think it happened.
Alright.
Agreed?
I say definitely, but I will I will agree to disagree on the. We'll put it in probably, although I think it definitely did.
The next one is William Regal shot on Goldberg during.
What?
No, he didn't shoot him. He was shooting on Goldberg. Like shooting during the match.
Oh, I thought you were like pop the cap in his ass.
No, he didn't. He did not pop a cap. No, that's Bret Hart
So I
later
put
on.
the old musket on him, yeah.
No, the conspiracy theory was obviously in '98, Goldberg was on the rise, the streak, yada yada. Um, 30 seconds or less matches. He wrestled William Regal on one of these dates, and the match went longer than usual. And William Regal actually got offense on Goldberg, which fueled speculation that he shot on Goldberg. And then later on, not too much later, he was released from the company as a whole. So there was heat with him and Eric Bischoff that he shot on Goldberg, and Eric Bischoff fired him.
Mm, I, I wouldn't think Goldberg would be the, I mean, not Goldberg, but Regal would be the type of person that would just like go into business for himself.
I mean, like the Undertaker, Brock Lesnar. I mean, he didn't really have a lot to gain doing something like that.
Right.
I mean,
So I'm gonna go no.
if there was
Definitely didn't happen.
if there was heat between him and Goldberg, but I haven't heard anything that there was heat between him or Goldberg. I haven't heard that.
I don't see it in his DNA to be that selfish.
I was leaning more towards probably didn't happen, but now I'm kind of more on it definitely didn't happen as well.
Yeah, because that's out of pocket for him. That's out of character for him.
Yeah. All right. Our next conspiracy theory was that Shawn Michaels was not as injured as they said he was in 1998. Obviously Shawn Michaels suffered a major back injury in at the Royal Rumble against Undertaker in the casket match, a herniated disc that would take him out of wrestling competition for almost 5 years.
Right.
There is speculation that it wasn't necessarily because he didn't stay out that long because of the actual injury, because he was just not mentally healthy at the time. Obviously he was heavily, drug induced, and the company didn't want him going to WCW, so they kind of kept him employed in hopes that he would make an in-ring return.
Mm, now Sean was injured in '98. Not
Yeah,
only physically, he was spiritually. That was broken.
I mean, he definitely was injured in '98. Um, I mean, I could see where he was maybe cleared before, 2002, but
Yeah, but like I said, I think
yeah,
he was spiritually broken. He was broken psychologically.
agreed. So it definitely didn't happen.
Yeah.
All right. Um, we have a lot of definitely didn't happens. I was not expecting that. All right. Another dark one, and that is that Jim WWE covered up Jimmy Snuka's misdeeds. Um,
Mm,
so Jimmy, obviously, it came out, not too long ago that Jimmy Snuka, may or may not have,
murdered or unalived.
unalived his
Deleted.
girlfriend, and at the time, um, and the rumor and innuendo was I think that this fits the timeline as well. It was right before WrestleMania 1. And it couldn't come out that, one of their big, baby face, um, superstars, murdered somebody. So Vince McMahon covered it up, paid the right people, and Jimmy was able to go as he will with the company.
Uh, well, the one, well, 84. I told you, 84 was when forensics became a thing, but it wasn't a thing until after this happened. But I don't think that's the case because I thought it happened before he did the dive off the cage.
Oh, that might have been. I don't exactly
It
know
was
the
the
timeline.
night before he did the dive, the super dive off the cage.
So that was well before 94. That was
Yeah,
before.
I heard it was like in the 80s.
Yeah. So I mean, forensics. What are you? It's not in dispute here. The because if you're paying somebody to cover it up, it doesn't matter. You know what I
Well,
mean?
paying no. Well, here's the no, well here's because the thing was it was a because in '84 you didn't have to pay anybody if it was a he said she said.
True.
That's why I brought up the forensics. So before forensics, it was literally having to figure it out without pinpointing DNA to the scene. That makes sense.
Well, what do we know for sure? Jimmy Snooker definitely did what they said that he did, and it took a really long time for things to come out. So
Yeah, it did.
why did it take so long?
Uh, because they just. I'm thinking because they just reopened the case. Because the murder case, I mean, it was a cold case.
I mean, I would say, would it be something that Vince McMahon would do? Probably. Did he do it? I don't think he did.
I don't think he did because the only reason he would do it is if he was making him the champion.
So it probably didn't happen.
Yeah, because why would I pay for somebody to cover up some when he didn't become champion?
All right, so it probably didn't
If he
happen.
became the if he became the guy, then yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, if it did come out and he was champion, that would have been, horrible for the company.
Right.
Yeah, it probably didn't happen. All right, from covering something up to arranging it, Vince McMahon staged Owen Hart's death. So it's not that it, obviously the rig for Owen Hart for his um, Blue Blazer gimmick failed, and he dropped from the ceiling to the ring. Um, it was a horrible, tragic accident. The conspiracy theory was that it wasn't so much an accident, but Vince McMahon actually made the equipment fail so Owen could die to get back at Brett because he was still mad at Brett for things that happened in 97.
Mm, to be, it's being mad for what happened in '97 is what's getting me.
I mean, maybe there was interaction before after that, after 97 that made Vince mad that caused him to do the actions that he did. I I personally don't see it happening. I don't think Vince McMahon is that petty to, you know, off somebody just to get to somebody else.
Mm, I don't believe that.
So it definitely didn't happen.
I will say you went through hell to get through these.
Next conspiracy theory was Vince McMahon sent Kevin Hall, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall to WCW to destroy it. Much like the Vince Russo conspiracy theory, um, obviously Kevin Nash and Scott Hall did a lot of bad shit inside WCW. Um, its conspiracy theory was that Vince McMahon sent them to do those bad things. I don't necessarily believe that. B- because WCW got really big when they came, and that seems counterproductive to the destroy WCW within logic. Um,
Yeah, and they only became like the biggest faction in history.
yeah, so that definitely didn't happen.
No. Plus, he wouldn't have punished Triple H for the curtain call.
I mean, maybe he would have.
No.
The next conspiracy theory is Eddie Guerrero is actually alive. Um, People are the conspiracy theory is that the name of his book was cheating life, stealing life, cheating death, and his gimmick was obviously lying, stealing, and cheating. So the what would be the best way to cheat and steal than to work everybody into believing that he was actually dead when he is still very much alive? If I'm being honest, I would love for this to actually be true, just because I love Eddie, and for him to be still alive would be awesome. Um, but it's very unlikely that he's not.
Yeah. Because he wouldn't have missed, like, his daughter's wedding to Aiden English.
I mean, she might. I mean, he might have been there, and we didn't
Yeah,
see him.
I would have. Okay, yeah, he was. Man, stop. I would have.
He had
The
plastic.
father, the father of the bride shows up, and no one is okay. Okay,
Hey man, he has to keep the gimmick going.
okay. The father of the bride just magically.
So it definitely did not happen.
Oh hell no.
Okay. That brings us to the next conspiracy theory, and that is that in 2023, obviously everything that happened with Vince McMahon, he was in, he was out, he was shaking all about. Um, Vince McMahon actually has dementia, and everything that was used to cause him to leave the company was staged by by Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Nick Khan to get him off of the board. So he would, you know, not be a part of the company in his, his lesser state of mind. But obviously he would, counteract that by coming back.
Yeah, and not to mention the simple fact that I read that affidavit. Nah, he had freaky ass nigga.
So it definitely
He a
did not
fan.
happen.
He a fan. He a fan. He a fan. Just saying.
All right. This is a an interesting one. And that is that there are uh, time traveling fans. Um,
Boy, stop. Get the fuck
yes, yes. This is an actual, and this is this is actually a top conspiracy theory. Um, People go to the point to signs like Punk, Triple H fears CM Punk in like 2002, 2003. There are some signs like uh, uh, um, a Matt Hardy version 1 must be deleted or was deleted. Signs like that has no context, in the time when they were made. But obviously hindsight being 2020, played out very differently. So what makes people believe that some people have the ability to time travel, and they use it to go to WWE events.
No.
Why do you just dismiss it like that so easily?
Because time travel me back to 2003 then. So I could get this 401k jumping. I'm just.
Well, I mean, some people would have their priorities straight, but I mean, if I had time travel abilities, I'd like to go to WrestleMania 17.
Time travel me back just for the ticket prices for a front row seat. How about that? Like they time traveling for the wrong reasons.
I'm under the consensus of we don't know what's actually out there. This time travel could actually be a thing. I would feel I would say it might have happened, but I'm comfortable with saying I don't know.
You time traveling fans.
Yes,
You say you don't know
I don't know. Yes,
about a DeLorean.
you've seen enough movies to know that it's a possibility. I mean, we're in a.
I've seen enough movies to know that it's bullshit. Anyways, you get that shit.
I mean, you 15 years ago you would have said Terminator's bullshit, and now we're coming into a world where AIs are very much prevalent.
We also thought we would have flying cars by now,
True,
like
slowly.
the Jetsons.
So you're indefinitely doesn't happen.
I mean, there's this thing called gravity. It just can't.
Will you meet me on it? Probably didn't happen, or I don't know.
I'm gonna meet you at the bottom of definitely.
I will.
Catching a splinter at the bottom of the barrel of definitely did not.
I will put it at the bottom of it. Probably didn't happen.
Lord.
The next one is let's just go with this one. Next one. Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young were in a lesbian relationship. Facts.
Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young in a relationship.
Yes. I mean, they were very close together. They shared a house together, and they were very close. They were both each other's maids of honor in their in their respective marriages.
Mula, didn't Mula run a brothel?
That she did.
She was running a whole house, so it's roughly possible.
So it might have happened.
It is possible. I mean, some people get high off their own supply.
And that would be a perfect place to put it, right next to Cocaine Tony Khan. it might, it might have happened.
That one time, man, bang, count.
The next conspiracy theory is that the clique was actually an Illuminati branch. So the clique obviously uses the two sweet symbol. The two fingers up signifies the devil horns. New World Order is obviously, a deconstruction of the current world order and something new. And Degeneration X is a generation of degenerates. When you have a new world order, you want degenerates so you can run it, with an armed fist, which is what the Illuminati, want. So the that's what both factions were preaching. So that
What?
gives the conspiracy theory that they are a part of the Illuminati.
No. Degeneration X was just a play on Generation X, which is the generation in the 90s, which were the very demographic that made this thing popular. Because wrestling caught all those college kids, those kids that graduated high school and were in college going to these shows.
I agree. I,
Same with the NWO. It was just a play. Because I mean, I was like nine. That was like my 9 to 16 years. So nah, it was all blended in with the real world road rules, Beavis and Butthead. It was just a generation of degeneracy.
I agree. It definitely did not happen. All right. Next conspiracy theory, and that is that the Undertaker was once Muslim or converted to Muslim. Um, uh, to Islam. Converted to Islam. There's a picture of Undertaker in 98, 99, where he is shaking the hands of some Muslim people on a plane. And then people would speculate afterwards that, obviously the character of The Undertaker changed drastically after that. The Ministry of Darkness, his beard looked more, um, what is, Islamic. I don't know the, the proper terminology of all this. So he converted to Islamic, and he changed his name at the time to Mohammed Ishmael.
Yeah, yeah. I went. Muhammad Ishmael is the NFL player.
It
That
sounds
was the
like he.
NFL wide receiver that played for the. I want to say Ragib Ishmael, Muhammad Ishmael, and Ragib Ishmael. Those are two football players, wide receivers. Anyway, if that's the case, it didn't last long because he went straight to motorcycles and American flags post 9/11.
I mean, I could see that, he was a pro-Islamic, and then, 9/11 happened, and he was like, that don't work for me, brother, no more, and go back to, American badass.
Man, that fucker was from Texas and ran a gang with a bunch of Samoans. He was not.
Well, I mean, maybe there was like a 6 month stint where he maybe thought that it was a good idea. I mean, you can't look at that beard at that time during that ministry and not think, something's up with this guy.
Yeah, no.
So So it probably
I
didn't
mean,
happen.
probably didn't happen.
Agreed. The next one is that Macho Man Randy Savage had an affair with a very young Stephanie McMahon. Um, if we're going to use, proper, but we can't use proper language, so we'll call it a PDF file. Um, but yeah, conspiracy theory was that Macho Man left WWE in '96. Probably in '95. I could be wrong on that. Um,
Roughly
very
95, yeah.
very abruptly. It was it kind of just he was depending on who you ask, he was ready to retire and kind of end his career, be in the commentator's booth with Vince McMahon, um, and go that route. Not too long afterwards, he would leave WWE abruptly. Vince McMahon would state that he's not a part of the company anymore and don't mention him. And he would go on, Macho Man would go on to be a part of WCW for the remainder of the company's tenure. He never came back to WWE. Um, Having listened to Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, anytime Bruce would bring up Macho Man, Vince McMahon would say, "Please don't ever bring him up because we're never bringing him back." I'm. It's definitely an odd, a odd conspiracy theory, but it's not necessarily. There was obviously something between Vince McMahon and Macho Man that happened. No,
Right, right.
I mean whether Stephanie was involved with that, has yet to be seen. But I've never heard Stephanie deny or confirm anything.
That is true. Especially in the age of Me Too, easily could have.
I mean, she could have, but you also have to. She's a At that time she was a big part of WWE. She was kind of in position to take over, Vince McMahon role at that time. So I could understand where she wouldn't necessarily want to bring that up. And if I love Macho Man Randy Savage, big part of pro wrestling, but he was an odd guy. Obviously there was friction between him and Miss Elizabeth at times. Gorgeous George, his girlfriend, in '99, I believe. He put cameras in her her um, her apartment to see what she was doing. So I mean, I'm not just saying this for the video, but there could have been something there. Something could have happened, and
I know this was like the biggest rumor of all for like the last 20 years. So I really can put this in I don't know.
but would you feel confident with putting it in? It might have happened.
Yeah, because it might have.
I think it might have happened too.
It might have. And
Yeah, I agree. It might have happened. And the last conspiracy we'll be going over is um, Rick Rude's controversial death, or lack thereof. Um, Rick Rude passed of a heart condition, I believe. But conspiracy theorists believe that at the time before his passing, he was taking Viagra shots into his dick. Um, those shots got caused his penis to get infected, and eventually doctors had to amputate A1 Rick Rude, which led him to go crazy, feel emasculated, and when he came home, to delete himself from this world. The weird thing about this conspiracy theory is that it didn't necessarily come from fans. It came from other wrestlers. Um, so I mean, obviously they have a more insider connection to him. You know, not a lot of people have denied or confirmed these things, but yeah, Rick Rude uh, being amputated, well, not amputated, castrated. Yeah.
I mean, if I mean, someone asked Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Well, I mean, how would they know? They wasn't. It. He wasn't with them before his passing.
But I mean, they were close.
Would.
I would. I mean, if they were. I mean, I'm trying to think. Kevin Nash, the only one alive. So let's see. Kevin Nash from the NWO. Rick Rude from. I mean, Triple H, Shawn Michaels from WWE. Paul Heyman from ECW.
Mm,
We
yeah.
need some corroborating stories.
I mean, I don't. I don't know. I feel like there would have been more speculation or allegation rather than a couple of whispers here and there.
Right.
So it probably didn't happen, right?
I don't think it would happen. No. Rick was a. I mean, I believe more. I have more stories of Rick going to the bar with his girl, literally leaving her alone to get hit on just so he could have a reason to fight him.
Right. Well, yeah.
Now, that's some gangster shit.
So Rick Rude's castration and speculated that probably didn't happen.
No.
All right, and that is our tier list. It definitely happened. Lex Luger is responsible for Miss Elizabeth's death. Um, Dave Meltzer is definitely being paid by AEW and is employed. Triple H lied and manipulated Stephanie McMahon into marrying him. It might have happened. Randy Savage and Stephanie McMahon alleged affair. Tony Khan's cocaine use. Um, Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young's relationship, quote unquote, and CM Punk wanting to joining WWE to destroy AEW. Um, I don't know. The Montreal Screwjob was a walk. Gino Hernandez was offed by the Mafia, and The Rock put Nick Khan in his position in WWE to take over the company eventually. It probably didn't happen. Cody Rhodes is the son of Dustin Rhodes. Shawn, Shawn Michaels had um, relations with Vince McMahon. Daniel Bryan was cleared to wrestle way before he actually was. Brock Lesnar shot on The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. Triple H Triple H uh tried to hold down Kurt Angle. Um, the conspiracy of Devon Eric Cross, Vince Russo being sent to WCW to destroy WCW, WWE covering up Jimmy Snuka's misdeeds, time traveling fans, Undertaker joining Islam, and Rick Rude being castrated. And it definitely didn't happen was Kevin Sullivan's involvement in the Benoit tragedy, the Ultimate Warrior, there being two Ultimate Warriors, Finn Balor's injury and after SummerSlam, Lex Luger costing himself the WWE Championship the night before WrestleMania, WWE owning WCW, uh, Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero's relationship, quote unquote, Macho Man punching Hulk Hogan, Edge being cleared before 2020. AEW is working with WWE. Roman Reigns faked leukemia. William Regal shot on Goldberg. Shawn Michaels was not injured in '98. Vince McMahon staged Owen Hart's death. Vince McMahon made the NWO sent the NWO to WCW to destroy it. Eddie Guerrero is actually still alive. Vince McMahon has dementia, and the Clique is a part of the Illuminati. Are we all good with this? Yep. Kaliko? You all good with our tier list?
I am all good with the tier list.
Alright. And that will conclude our first ever tier list. And this episode as a whole. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. If you have your own conspiracy theories, shoot them in the messages. If you believe that our conspiracy theories were false, or if you believe in them or you don't believe in them, tell us. we'll comment back. Of course, follow this. You can join us this Tuesday and Wednesday as we for new incredible interviews, and you can follow this show at Wrestling with Eve on an extra and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
I am Kaliko, tinfoil hat off.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Time traveling fans, though? What the fuck? For a sign? Well, sign guy needs to fade. He needs to come back to the future with a high top fade. Them 90s joints, too, the little Gumby fade.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.